Hello everybody, I'm the one guy, and today I'm here talking about the morality of Warframe. Now, when I say the morality of Warframe, um, what I mean is this little scale in your profile. Now, personally, I don't think it means all that much yet. It might mean something down the road, but until then, we'll see. Now, there is a thing of, what do the morality systems mean? Also, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. That is not. Alright, there's three paths to the morality system in this game: light, dark, and twilight, which is what most people probably call neutral, but I'm going to be referring to it as twilight because that's what twilight is. It's sort of a mixture of light and dark. Now, in the War Within quest, we are given the morality system of light, dark, and twilight, and these essentially correspond to good, evil, and neutrality. However, they're not quite analogous to being good, being evil, or being neutral. And it's interesting because not a lot of media does this actually. They have a morality system that's very cut and dry and very unambiguous, and it's just like, oh, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. That's it. Alright? For instance, Destiny. The big bad is literally called the Darkness. I I'm sorry, but no. That is that is literally that I'm sorry, that just screams to me they had a piece of paper and wrote down insert antagonist here. Cuz like that just screams we didn't know what to name it, so we're just going to call it the Darkness. And you channel a force called the Light. So there is not really a lot of wiggle room there to say, oh yeah, like there's you're pretty bad people yourself and the Darkness is a good bunch. It's more like you all are terrible, but that thing is worse. So why is it that I assert that Warframe's morality system is different? Well, that's because it is. Let me explain. So it doesn't exactly fit the mold. And I only say that because everyone in Warframe is terrible in some way. The Tenno are probably the closest, or the protagonists, obviously, but they're terrible in their own way. Don't get me wrong, but I'll get to them in a second. The Corpus are all greedy. The Grineer want to conquer the entire system. The Infested, we don't actually know what their motives are, but they just destroy everything in their path. The Tenno straight up wiped out an entire civilization. I'm really not sure which of these four is worse. And that's an amazing thing, because this game makes me think, holy shit, we might be the bad guys. Unlike a game like Fable, which straight up says, you're the bad guy if you choose the evil path. So, for instance, if you chose the dark path, you're not evil. You're not evil per se. Um, the best way to put it is those that are dark are more power hungry more than anything else. Except, I mean, when you already have all the power you can get, why are you more power hungry? You already have everything. They're more the ones who just want the power, but once they have it, they don't know what to do with it. So, it becomes the issue of it becomes the issue of they don't know exactly what to do with that power beyond change the world around them. And of course, the whole thing with the dark path is they are supposed to be, I suppose they are probably they're corrupt, but they use their corruption towards good ends, so it's a ends justify the means kind of thing. Like they're the type that thinks if I have to do something bad but it results in something good, it was worth doing that bad thing. So they're the ones who use corruption and even accept it just because they can do good things with corruption. Now, Twilight is more controlling about everything. They might use corruption, but it's more like they force corruption to meet their end or just not work at all. Not sure how to put it beyond that. Like they force it to work for them, for lack of a better word. They control. They are also much more, I suppose you could say they're much more logical than the other two paths, the Twilight path. They are much more they are more willing to learn how to control their power, which we saw in the War Within quest with the decision of I controlled it rather than I hated it or I embraced it on the other two. Geez, you're not really being ambiguous here. They are also much more willing to do things themselves, as seen with the indecision of the War Within with the Grineer Queen. They they kill the Queen themselves. And then finally, at the actual end of the War Within, when deciding what to do with the Kuva, the Twilight Path gives it to Teshin to control it and keep it under guard, essentially keeping it under guard and under control. They are all about, I suppose you could say they're actually all about balance, which is what Tenno do normally. So they're pretty much I suppose you could say they're the normal path. They're the one that everyone is supposed to take, or everyone is supposed to be. With Sun and Moon just kind of coming out, Sun and Moon or Light and Dark just coming out and doing their own thing. Now, when you get to the Light Path, which is what I am, Light Path seems to be more geared towards people who are considerate or more concerned with the well-being and everything of that nature of other people, and they don't stand for corruption whatsoever. They don't like their powers, and they use them because, well, they have to. There's no other choice, but they don't care for them. However, the things they do in the quest don't really scream, good guys. Like, in the slightest. Frankly, the decision of what to do with the Grineer Queen at the end of the quest, the Light Path, is probably the most evil one, since it's let her rot. Which, since she hates her body, is a pretty terrible thing to say. Like, that is literal torture through mercy. I'm not sure what that's called exactly. It's a trope of some sort, but I can't remember exactly what it's called. If someone could please tell me, I'd be really happy with that. Thanks. If you could please tell me. But all in all, they seem to be more concerned with the well-being of others rather than their own well-being as well. However, if they view something as bad or corrupted, they are almost always, they are the types who seek it out and destroy it no matter what. They think the world is better off without that corruption. Now, the one thing I love about this morality system is, number one, no one is evil. No one is good, and there's realistically only shades of gray. I mean, seriously, like, you've got multiple groups, all of whom just want one thing or another, and then you have a group who's keeping the balance, but they have different methods or different end goals. I mean, seriously, look at this guy. Does he look like a good guy to you? No, he doesn't. He looks like the guy probably giving orders to the guys who are going out and doing the horrible stuff. Even if it means terrible stuff, he's willing to utilize it. Anyways, my point being that essentially this morality system is interesting because it has quite a bit of an ambiguity to it. And they also subvert the trope of dark meaning evil and light meaning good, which I like. It's very interesting. Now, as far as what this has to do with the Tenno just in general, well, number one, it tells us that the Tenno do not all share the same opinion, nor do they share the same methods. In fact, they have very different methods of going about things. However, the main thing to remember is that the Tenno all share one goal, which is maintaining balance. At best, you can say they are peacekeepers. Now, the thing is again, this is the point of the video. None of these methods, none of these groups, the Tenno, the Corpus, the Grineer, the Infestation, the Corrupted, the Sentients, none of them are inherently good or evil. They are all sort of just... They all have their own... It's sort of the... Everyone is the good guy in their own story kind of situation. Except the Tenno acknowledge, we're not good guys, we just kind of keep balance. We don't care if we're good or evil, we're just the ones here to maintain the balance. So I find it interesting that they have a morality system at all, because they could have just kept it the really ambiguous, well, are we evil thing? Because, well, yeah, I mean, we did destroy an entire civilization, and we pretty much do commit genocide for that matter. So it really begs the question of, are we evil or not? However, that's a philosophical discussion, and I suppose we could have it another day. It's another discussion video entirely, actually. Ooh. I think I found my next topic. Anyways, if you liked the video, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment, blah blah blah, YouTube bullshit. And thanks for watching.